In this video, I'll show you exactly how I fixed a chaotic $2 million software company by building one integrated and automated system to manage and track everything. Now, I'm Drew Brockbank. I built more than 185 business systems that actually work in the real world for clients across the world, from startups and political campaigns to billion-dollar scale-ups and everything in between. Here's SaaS company selling software subscriptions to medical spas. Your current system that you're using internally doesn't work for the sales team. It's a homegrown custom solution, CRM nicknamed No-Go.
That's right.
I think DOS based, very outdated, built from scratch, started in 2009. It's lacking automations and it's slow with, slows down your processes. When clients convert, they go back into the custom solution. So sounds like No-Go will be used, everything post-sale, but for pre-sale, so we can kind of look at it maybe like an ERP. So everything post-sale operations goes to No-Go. Everything before the sale is in Zoho.
If we ever have our boss in one of these meetings, we should probably we'll change the No-Go for what I don't want them to think. Anyway, keep going.
We want to change the name from No-Go to something else. Happy to do it. Not a problem.
Sorry. I was just thinking about.
Yeah, you're totally fine there. When clients convert, they go back to custom solution. Service team stays on homegrown solution. So again, kind of ERP, customer success, everything post-sales operations would be handled outside of Zoho. Although we can bring people into Zoho from customer service if we want to. Sounds like they're going to stay on the custom solution for now. We're building a proof of concept here with Zoho before you move the entire company over. Current tech stack and migration plans. Already moved email marketing into Zoho Campaign, social media scheduler into move from Hootsuite to Zoho Social. Sales tech stack currently includes Calendly for booking, GoTo for phone system and some demos, Zoom for demo meetings, more successful than GoTo. Dropbox, DocuSigns being used, no SMS current marketing currently, looking to implement after CRM setup. Zoho CRM Plus was chosen after extensive research on different platforms. Struggling with the setup. It's not built, you mentioned it's not built for SaaS companies specifically. Although keep in mind, Zoho is a SaaS company and Zoho uses Zoho. So actually a lot of the assumed workflow is for SaaS companies, and I can show you that later on.
Perfect.
Training critical for team adoption, something I noted from our last call. I also mentioned the consideration of Zoho 1 versus Zoho CRM Plus. I know you guys are still considering that. I want to build a strong case as to why Zoho 1 might be necessary. Zoho Flow being one of those key things. But once we finish the discovery, we present a plan of action, it's going to become pretty clear if Zoho 1 is going to be necessary or not. So we can assist you with building that case for the move to Zoho 1. With that, that is the recap of our discussion from our last call. Team, is there anything you'd like to clarify there before we pick up where we left off? Excellent. So before we dive into so normally how we'll take this is we'll go ideal customer profile. What are you offering to them? And then we'll go into marketing, sales, service, finance. Before we do, between marketing and sales, would you say sales is more critical to have set up than marketing? I guess what I'm saying is if one part of the business was able to be supported through Zoho, what would like the most important one be from your perspective? If it's everything, that's okay too. I'm just curious if there's like a primary.
Of course, I want to say everything, but sales for sure. I mean, we've been able to figure out how to still get a decent amount of the upfront leads in, just using old systems, but you know, our tracking is lacking and things like that. But the whole reason of moving over to the CRM is because sales has been really unable to do well because they don't have the automations or the setup for it. So they would be the highest priority for sure.
Right. And not only the setup, but having obviously reporting that's, at our fingertips. I used to have where I'm finding out problems 2 weeks later when I run a report, or, everything from how busy each sales executive is to why did we lose that part of the sales pipeline, and then doom scrolling. We have one drop down to put our follow-ups in and mark it either cool, cold, or hot and warm. And so our follow-ups are just really, really horribly, yeah, we're not able to follow up because of yeah, it's just brutal. It's brutal.
Got it.
Yeah.
Thanks for going over that. We will go into detail on what is your cadence, what would your ideal cadence look like? Cadence being once an opportunity is sales ready, what do you do about it? And then once we outline the cadence, we can bake a lot of that into the system automatically. And anything that has to be done that can't be done by Zoho, we'll flag the user, and give them notification, letting them know they need to call, reminders, things like that. So happy to go into the detail there. Thank you for giving me a department focus. You wanted to say everything, but we'll say sales is the highest priority. Let's move to ideal customer profile. It might seem strange why someone technical is asking more of a marketing question here. Again, the reason I'm doing this is the more I can understand the ideal customer profile, the journey you want to take them through, and then what everyone in your organization has to do to take them through that journey, then I can, in my mind's eye, see exactly what apps to use, features, and things like that. So it's very useful to understand these things. So with that, my question to you would be for ideal customer or for your current client profile. Is it med spas across the US? Are you targeting a certain region? Describe the current client profile that you're going after from a marketing perspective and sales.
From marketing perspective, our goal is to be the primary giver of med spa software in the US and Canada. I would say that's our largest target market. We do have other countries that we do serve, but part of the problem is that in some of the other countries, they have different language needs sometimes, or their compliance is a little bit different. So our main targeting is US and Canada, again, with some exceptions. And then our target market would be medical spas. We don't usually go for like the hair salon, barber shop type thing. Our software is a little bit too robust for that. Our software includes things like a built-in EMR and telemedicine and e-prescribe and things like that. So it would be the medical spas. Sometimes we can work with plastic surgeons. We'll be able to work with them more once we have integrated insurance. We work with what are some of the other off ones?
I mean, we've expanded our nets, to be more consultative with, smaller businesses, like even, I mean, obviously people that do the injections, and small kiosks, and
so like some
weight loss, and yeah,
the Botox injections too. There'll be established doctor clinics that have a med spa add-on, really.
Okay.
And then also, just to throw it in there, we do branch out sometimes to like tattoo parlors and stuff like that as well that need stuff.
Right.
So tattoo parlors may get as well.
Yes. And we do have hair salons. We do have just general like day spas. Like we service all of those, and we can. Sometimes we're just out of their price range, but we can.
Yeah, they're not the primary focus, right? They're not your ideal.
Focus would be the medical spas. We especially love ones that have multi-location and more of like the enterprise mind. That would be ultimately where we would love to see a lot of those. But we also love just having those small, even first-time businesses.
And we are, it's noting, we are the number one, medical spa software company right now with it was at 33% of all, so we have everyone on our heels right now and, biting at our heels.
Well, so you guys currently are the number one provider of medical spa on one software.
And we want to stay that way.
Yeah.
We're going to keep you that way.
And we've done all of this with a awful CRM.
I was going to say, I'm impressed.
Yeah.
You're able to get to the number one slot with current system setup. That's really impressive. 33% of all medical all-in-one software is provided by you guys currently.
Yep.
Yes.
Adding that as a note.
But it's going to be 32% if we don't get your help, Drew.
That's the big risk we're taking here. Awesome. Statistics Pro, 3%. Perfect. Okay, so the ideal client, you don't mind the smaller ones, but the ideal client would be medical spa, multi-location, enterprise-minded. Is that correct?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Got it. Anything else? As far as what you mentioned for current clients, med spas, goals to keep the #1 slot for providing medical spa software. Not so much hair salon / barber. You're a little too robust for that. Got EMR scheduling. Looking to work with plastic surgeons, medical spas. You guys are just, I think you said insurance integrations needed there. Insurance integrations. Is that right?
Eventually, yes.
Okay. Medical spas are the biggest one. Smaller shops do Botox injections. They're kind of like add-ons, I guess, to the medical spas typically. Those are also purchasing your software. You rent out your software, or maybe not rent out. I'm not actually sure. I think one of you mentioned rent out.
Subscription model.
Right. So tattoo parlors also will get, correct?
Mm-hmm.
And then you have some hair salons currently. It's just not your ideal focus. For the ideal client, like I mentioned, med spa, multi-location, enterprise-minded. Anything else you'd want to add to your ideal client, like who you're going after?
I mean, obviously franchises and we, larger businesses, multi-locations. I mean,
I think that's going to be, I think that's pretty much wraps it up for now, anyways, until we.
Not a problem. Yeah. We don't have to get 100% detail here. We're technically never done with any of these sections. We could always gather more detail. So as soon as you feel like we're hitting the point of diminishing returns, or I feel that way, I'll let you guys know, and you guys can let me know as well.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, product service here. So I want to better understand was a product. So I just started a med spa, or maybe I have a chain of med spas, and I'm basically having the problem you guys are having. I have a lot of different software. It's messy. You come in and say, this is an all-in-one solution. It's going to handle scheduling, maybe bookkeeping. Tell me more about the appeal and the offer of the system.
Go ahead, sales guy.
Sell me on the dream.
I'm so sorry. I'm reading it right now because it just came in and said hi to me. Sorry.
You're completely fine.
Oh yeah. Sorry. I'm gonna handle this.
And if you want me to restate the question,
I'm so sorry. Please do.
You're completely fine. No worries at all. So my question to you is, let's say I'm your ideal customer profile. I'm either med spa, multi-location, I'm enterprise minded. I'm starting to look at these locations and I'm thinking, we're using different software. It's messy. It's clunky. My systems are kind of messed up because of it. I'm sick of integrating all these things with Zapier. I need an all-in-one solution. I find as I go to get the demo, you guys got a form on your website for the demo.
Yeah.
Kind of sell me on what it is, why it's appealing. I just want to better understand the product.
Yeah. Well, I mean, if you're currently with a company already, I would, find out, everything about your company, what you would need it for. Is it more for, are you doing things manually? Are you looking for scheduling? Are you looking for, EMR? I'm looking for everything, finding what you guys are currently doing. And then I find pain points, and we would walk you through how we could alleviate all those pain points. And there's just such a various amount of, I guess, oh man, I'm the sales guy. I'm trying to sell you, but
and I get it. I'm not an actual customer, right? With the actual situation. So it's kind of tough. Let's do this. Could you give me an example of like a typical situation? Like someone comes in and says, ABC is their pain point. You say, this is why Aesthetics Pro is helpful. The reason the better I can understand Aesthetics Pro and what you guys are offering here, the better we can build a system to support selling it. That's why I asked.
Right. I mean, we could sell them on our support team. We could sell them on, again, we have a lot of the current software has a few features. I mean, we have a lot of features that other ones have that we our pricing, our, I guess, I'm shitting the bed here. I think I'm not trying to, I don't answer your question. I'm sorry.
No, you're fine. I'm looking at some of your packages here: professional, executive, enterprise.
Right. Find out how big you are. We find out what you need. We find out if you have medical directors. I mean, we just find out everything about your business, do a discovery, and then we chameleonize ourselves to let them know that we have what you need. And we listen to what the pain points are, and then we focus on those areas. And
Got it.
and
So
yeah,
is a typical situation, and I know obviously each situation varies, but is a typical situation medical spas coming in the door, they have messy tracking of records. So like maybe some
sure.
are on paper, some are on Excel spreadsheet, and they're just like, hey,
Yeah,
we need to move over to like a unified solution. And then you
right.
come in and say, not only do we have electronic records,
Right, client management, like telemedicine, like we just we find out what they need, so
got it.
yeah.
Okay. So you'll do, and we'll get more into the sales process there, but just wanted to make sure like I'm understanding.
Yeah, when we talk about, we have marketing solutions for them. We have things that, yeah, just whatever. We're robust. We have everything that they need for the most part. Like we mentioned earlier, we don't have insurance billing and certain things that other companies now have. We are doing a little bit of catch up right now, but we don't want to, so we have a lot of workarounds for that in the meantime. Like we are launching a brand new book right now. So yeah, we just listen for pain points, and a lot of it has to do with support. A lot of the lack of support from other industries. A lot of it is a lot of bait and switch that we're working with.
Mhm.
And so we try to be upfront with what we offer, and then again, yeah, we walk them through. And again, if they're like a one or two user provider, if there's a smaller company, they're usually manual, so we're blowing their minds. But if they're like a larger company that want to get into knee deeps of like soup to nuts on we robust enough to, for them to make the change, because making a change is a big deal. So we'll walk them through the whole process, and yeah.
Okay, got it.
Yeah.
I think at its most basic, you're basically like a the Zoho one for medical spas. Like bring all your software as much as you can into one system. All your records will be in one place. I'm seeing here for professional at least, you've got a mobile app, advanced photo solutions, client portal, telemedicine, award-winning live support, comprehensive training library. Got it.
Yeah.
You have a better understanding there of what you guys are offering with the product.
Right.
Let's get into marketing. Let me make sure we're good on time here as well. Perfect. We got loads of time. Let's talk marketing, go-to-market strategy. So how are we sourcing these lists? Are we doing inbound, outbound? Give me the strategy at a high level, and then we'll start to get into tactics here.
Yeah, so we have a variety of paid lead sources that we go to, as well as we rank high on SEO. So our natural search is actually really great in comparison to competitors, and that makes up around half of our leads per month is just natural search. So
Nice.
people hearing about us through a variety of different ways. Otherwise, we utilize Google ads, Facebook ads. We have a couple platforms that we use that are like software review platforms. It's Gartner. I don't know if you
G2 maybe.
Oh yeah. We did do G2. It didn't work great, but Gartner, they have a couple different ones on there. And then also another one called Software Finder. And that makes up our paid ones for the most part. And then we also do partner referrals. So we strategically partner with consultants. We just partnered with this company called Recura AI, which does basically front desk work for medical spas. And in there, we give them referrals, they give us referrals. So we get a good chunk from there as well.
This is super helpful. Couple questions. Google Ads, Facebook ads, do you guys have a set monthly budget for those?
It can vary based on performance. We typically were only spending around 5,000 to 7,000. Last month we ended up bumping it up to about 11, and we got quite a few leads that way. And I actually still need to meet about what we want to do strategy wise this month. But yeah, we have potential to, I'm in charge of the budget. I can put it where I need to get the best leads for our sales team.
Got it. So I got a couple things I want to zoom into for Google Ads and Facebook Ads, and then we'll move to the software reviews, partner referrals, because this is great information.
Yeah.
So 50% is coming from SEL
Mm-hmm.
as far as leads generated. And is that marketing ready leads or sales ready leads half?
So we actually do a pretty good amount of filtering before leads end up in our no-go CRM right now. So what normally people would consider marketing qualified leads, which would be people, signing up for newsletters or someone just being interested at a convention kind of thing. We don't do any of those. The leads that are coming in from natural search and from our paid ads are actually filling out a high intent lead form.
So they're sales.
For the most part, I would say they are potentially sales ready. But the sales team, because of our lack of automations and quick response and things like that, we typically are only able to even get a hold of, I don't know, I would say, what would you say, 2/3 at best?
2/3 at best, because of just the timing of, we have to manually import them a lot. And then if our manual guy's having a bad day or off getting a coffee, so forth.
Mm-hmm.
So and when I say sales ready, just to be clear, I'm not saying they're going to have a meeting or they're going to get on the demo or anything. The difference is like marketing ready. If someone fills out a form and says subscribe to your newsletter, they're not sales ready, right? Like if you get a call after you sign up for a newsletter, that's kind of a weird interaction. So you'd consider that marketing ready. If someone signs up for the newsletter, they're ready for marketing material only at that point. But if I fill out a contact us form, whether or not you're going to pick up the phone after I call you from filling out that form, we would just consider you sales ready. And so
then we all 100% that make it into our no-go CRM are technically sales ready. It's just whether they become an actual opportunity or not would be the
right. And the verbiage we use, I'm happy to use yours too, is we'll say marketing ready, sales ready, and then pipeline ready. There's a lot more nuance within those things, right? So it's like sales ready just means they're ready for a call. If you get on the demo and they're moving forward through the pipeline, we just call it pipeline ready.
Mm-hmm.
There's so much nuance to that we get into, but at a basic, for most software companies, it's marketing ready, sales ready, pipeline ready.
Yeah.
So with that, okay, very useful information. 5,000 to 7,000 per month for ads across Google and Meta, correct?
No, that's just for Meta. We spend typically around 41 to 43,000 a month for advertising between all of the platforms.
Okay, so all advertising, you said 43,000 a month?
Give or take. Sometimes it's a little less, sometimes a little more, but the average, I would say average is probably 41.
And then how much of that is Google Ads?
Let's see. I would say average is probably about 14, 15,000. Again, just depends on the month. Sometimes it's higher, sometimes it's lower. Maybe closer to like 16,000. Average for the software review platforms would be closer to around, a total of about 15,000-ish for all of them. And then Facebook, just this last month, Facebook was 11,000. Again, typically we were more in like the 5,000 for them, but we just
got it
to where the software review platforms were more like 20,000. And so we just flipped that a little bit. So now they're 15 is about 10.
Okay. Very, very useful. Some follow up here. So for Google Ads, well, you mentioned all advertising is about 41,000 a month.
Yeah.
Average for Google Ads, 14 to 15. Meta,
yep.
Give or take. Meta, 5 to 7. Last month was 11. Software reviews, Gartner, Software Finder, things like that, 50,000 all across the board. Got it. So with Google Ads, how do you feel? So this is a typical situation I have with marketing. A marketing team will come in and they'll say, we spent $41,000 on marketing, specifically 14 to 15,000 on Google Ads, and we generated 1,000 conversions on the site. A conversion being they filled out a form. but
Yeah.
then they really don't know what happens after that. So then they just kind of play this backwards game of, well, we had 1,000 conversions last month and we
Mhm.
had 30 sales. So let's do the math backwards. We're
Right.
assuming for every X amount of form fills, we have X amount of sales.
Yeah. Mhm.
Are you guys in that situation? Are you able to track from click to close? Tell me what your current tracking situation looks like.
Yeah, I mean, it doesn't obviously track it on the Google side, but we have a fairly detailed budget tracking on our side. So I know, for example, for the month of August, we spent 17,000 on Google. That produced 37 sales ready leads. Our cost per lead ended up being about $4.59. We have so far gotten 4 sales from those leads,
Okay.
meaning our cost per acquisition was 4,200, which is higher than we want, but we also know that the sales cycle for those can be a little bit longer. So we'll see that cost per acquisition go down.
Yeah, it doesn't always, it's
Yeah.
not always realized within the first month, right?
Yeah.
So my question, and is it sounds like you do have a fair bit of tracking. My question's a
I
little
mean,
bit.
it's all in Excel. So my hope is that we don't have to do this anymore and it's all going to be in Zoho.
Right.
Got it. And the reason for my asking, I find that it's really useful when we connect Google, Meta, all these
Yeah.
different marketing efforts to Zoho,
Yes.
because I can show you not only what if Google Ads is providing revenue, like I can tell you exactly which ad is providing revenue. I can tell you
Yeah.
exactly which search term is generating revenue, because what you'll find is once you can connect, it's called the GCLID, it's the unique ID for the click when someone clicks on an ad in Google or Meta Ads or whatever.
Mhm.
Nothing to do with Google Ads for this, because this is just about your biggest budget. When we can find what search term and what specific ad is actually generating revenue, and it gets a little, you're in marketing, so you know this. When you start talking about attribution model, it's like, well, are we going to give all credit to the first touch or the last touch? Are we going to do W model? Or are we going to do a U model? So there's all these kind of different ways of doing it. Initially, when we set up a system like this, we say, hey, let's just do first touch for now. Let's do first touch. It's the easiest one to track. We have a good system for it. If we want to do a multi-touch attribution model, we can do it. But the reason I'm bringing these things up is once we set this up, you can say, okay, search terms ABC and ads XYZ are generating 80% of the revenue. So instead of spending so much money on these other loser ads or loser keywords that have done nothing for us, let's reinvest all that capital into the winner ads and make variations of them or use them for inspiration for other campaigns. That's where you start, this reporting becomes valuable. So the reason I'm going on a whole spiel here is I just want you to see like the value that these reports bring. From a marketing perspective, you can see exactly what you're wasting money on, and you can double down on what's working.
Yeah, no, that's been the big goal. There's been such little information and reporting that we are able to pull from our existing CRM right now to be able to really get that full look. And so this is one of the things that I'm incredibly excited about. And I know that our owners are as well. So
yeah, very, very useful. And there's so much that we can do to in the way of reporting. We'll set up some basic reports just so you understand what it's capable of doing. And then if you want to set up CAC to LTV ratio, we can get crazy with the reports in relation to market. Just try not to over-engineer it initially. So excellent. Very useful. So Google Ads, Meta Ads, software reviews, partner referrals, and then you mentioned SEO. So SEO is half. Give me an idea of the split between Google, Meta, software reviews, and partner referrals.
Like percentage wise?
Yeah, we'll just go from like a sales ready lead perspective.
Okay, so I mean, I'll give you the actual breakdown last month, which is fairly typical.
Okay.
A little, actually, slightly atypical, only because we are just now really vamping up Facebook. So actually, I'll give you July, which is going to be closer to typical, maybe. 300 leads, sales ready leads in July. 22 of them was from all things Google. So that includes any of the Performance Max,
Or 22 from Google?
22 from Google, yeah. That includes leads that came from our blog, because we have ads that link to the blog and the SEO. And so it includes a handful of those things. We had, for the software review platforms, a total of 53. We had 86 come from Facebook. We had 126 come from natural search. And then we had, let's see here.
Like, are you actively investing in SEO? Like, are you guys?
Oh, yeah. We're really big on SEO.
Okay. Sorry,
Mhm.
keep on with your.
Yeah, we use a company that does high domain authority backlinks for us, and then we are crazy fanatics on the front end side with blogs and keywords and
Good work,
tracking and all this stuff. So, and then the rest of so we have 13 left. That's a mix of client referrals. We also have a canceled client win back campaign that we're doing. So getting people back to us, and then there's a handful of miscellaneous ones in there.
So what was partner referrals?
Partner referrals last month was actually, well, here again, we haven't had a really great way of tracking. This is all Excel, and this is all assuming that all of the information is exactly being put in correctly the first time in our no-go CRM, because it's impossible to run any sort of report without going through a million different hoops.
Yeah.
And you can't really see if it's a partner referral or customer referral or whatever, unless you physically go back and you read through all of the notes. Because if they put it in as a natural search, for example, and it ended up being a referral, for the most case, we've lost that because there's no way of knowing. So we have one partner referral for last month, but that is something that we definitely want to make sure that we are chatting with you about too, because we want to be able to track that as a lead source, but we also have to be able to track how many these different partners are bringing in, because they're committing to us a certain amount per month. And
Mhm.
so we originally, through some searching, it looked like the best way to do it was to set them up as a vendor. And then I changed that module name to just referral partner. But I'm excited to see what your options would be for that. That way, they
Yeah.
have kind of their own hub that they can see how many referrals that they've given. But
Yeah,
then,
there's a couple of ways to do it. I mean, I wouldn't use the vendors module because vendors is your way of storing organizations or people that you're buying something from, right?
which we're
And
not using that module at all. It's going to be an unused module. So that's why I was thinking maybe we could.
you could, right? I mean, technically, for like, let's say you were doing bookkeeping in Zoho, you made the case to move to Zoho, and all of a sudden they're like vendors is used for referral partners. That's just something to think about maybe in the
Oh,
future.
sure. Yeah. Mhm.
Yeah. And so, I mean, this is my take. I know what the modules in Zoho are supposed to be used for. And if you're planning on ever moving like the finance part of your company into Zoho, I would just be wary of that. By the way, it's not even a bad idea. Like, there's a million ways you can do something in Zoho. I try to focus on like how should it be done, not just
Sure.
how it could. So
Yeah.
here's my critique on that. I think this will be helpful for you. So typically what we do with partner referrals or any kind of referrals field is we will have a lookup field to either the contact or the account, but it will be pre-filtered. So you're only seeing a subset of those accounts or contacts.
Okay.
So that's usually the best way to do it. You can do a custom module called like partners, something like that. But I would prefer just having partners as a subset of your accounts. You just have a field on the account called like account type, and you
Sure.
can track it that way. So
Okay. But
Yep.
then, so as it's coming in though, is that something with Zoho Flow? So here's one of the issues is that we want to be able to give each of our partners a specific form or QR code that they can use to actually send their referrals to. So can that be tracked through as a
You're asking a great question. Yep. So let me tell you how this would, let me just note down here. Pre-filter.
And sorry, I didn't mean to like take us off track or
Oh,
get
this is good. This is why we do it. Yeah, some of these branch things, I'll always bring it back to the kind of the main road to revenue, but this stuff's really important. Especially if you're wanting to expand your partner program and you want to make it more scalable, this stuff is really, really important to talk about. So I would, have a unique form link for each of your clients.
Mhm.
The link will have, the link will have a code for them in it, and it will pre-populate a hidden field. And it will say something like, if I was a partner of yours, for example, my hidden field would say Brockbank Consulting. The person filling out the form would never see it, right?
Right.
Once they fill it out and submit it, it's not even a Zoho Flow thing. It would actually just take the code and then turn it into the lookup field value, and it would just pre-populate. So every time the form's filled out, it would just show that they're the ones to do it. And we can create one of those as a demo for you and show you exactly how it works.
Sure. That'd be great.
Yep. What we may end up doing as a flow is every time a referral partner is created, then they have their unique link created for them.
Right. Yeah.
That's something we can do automatically. Yeah. So give me 2 moments to take a note on that. And how do you, are you paying out to these partners a certain percentage of?
We give them $300 per successful referral.
Okay. And that just means they were sales ready?
No, that means that they actually converted to a sale.
Oh, okay.
And that's ideally we would be able to track that within something as well, just to make sure that people are being paid out at the proper time.
And we also have our brand ambassadors that are receiving free software.
Yeah.
So I feel like that should also get accounted for somewhere in the process too, as like a cost for them, so that we're calculating everything correctly.
Yeah. Agreed.
Excellent. Alrighty, got that down. We can certainly do some things to assist you on the tracking front there. It can be a bit tricky, but we'll help you guys figure that out. This has been great for marketing. We do have 15 minutes left on this meeting, so I want to use at least the next 10 to go over conversions. So far for marketing, we talked about how do we get people onto the website, basically. Partner referrals are an exception to that. Next, I want to understand, like, how are they converting? So is there subscribe to newsletter forms? Do we have lead capture magnets? Or are they just going to the contact us form, book a demo? That's the next thing I'd like to understand here.
Yeah, that's primarily. We do have something called the guide, which is open to the public, basically. And so we do get some subscriptions there, but they're not necessarily even somebody in our industry. So we don't even put them in any sort of pipeline. They just are in an ongoing newsletter getting our latest blog content. Otherwise, with the lead forms, they are going to our website and they're clicking get the demo. Sometimes, so our lead forms come in a 2-part. The first part is just submitting their lead information. And then I would say, I don't know, maybe 1/3 of the leads at that point would continue on to the next window after that of actually booking the demo with our sales team. The other ones we have to usually get a hold of, and then they'll book.
Okay. Yeah, let's go a little more in depth on this. So you're saying, I'm looking at the get the demo form right now. Once they fill out this form, it's 5 different fields. Then they receive a booking link if they're qualified.
Yeah, I mean, you could go ahead if you want to. You could do a test lead right now, so you can see what the next form looks like, and I'll know, and I'll just go in and delete it. But it stays all in the same window. But yeah, after it's submitted, there's a little message they get that says to book a demo now, and it's not great. It's not set up great. I'm looking forward to using Zoho Forms instead of the one built into our website.
Okay. Yeah. Let's see here. Oh, I see. Yep. I see. Okay, so it's form to Calendly. I actually do like Calendly a lot just because Calendly can actually capture UTM parameters. So Calendly as well. I wish Zoho Bookings, which is a Zoho Calendly-like app, if it could do that, we would use Bookings, but unfortunately it's just not able to do it. Okay, I see how this works. Perfect. Get the demo, goes to Calendly. And then they're able to book here. And is this booking with, or is it the whole sales team? How's this working?
So if you do it just generally through natural search, it goes to a round robin, and then it just schedules the next available.
Nice. Got it. Calendly form, round robin booking. Got it. Okay. Very, very helpful to be able to see that. So the main sales ready form would be get the demo. And then you mentioned the guide. We consider that marketing ready or sales ready? I'm mentioning.
Sales Pro Guide is just marketing ready.
Okay.
That's just the newsletter one.
Got it. And then you have a call us, so they can just call you directly. Do you guys track that?
Yeah, that comes in actually through a Google ad, because a lot of people will get to that point because of the Google ad.
I'm seeing call us on the get a demo form.
Oh, yeah. I mean, again, we don't have a perfect science about this. Any of the leads that come in that is marked call into sales or email to sales, we attribute to Google Ads, but it all just depends. And so it'll be great to have more of that specific actual tracking.
Yeah, I guess what I'm asking is for contact us. So these are different ways they can convert, right? So someone can just send you an email directly. They can do plus. I imagine most people, there's a big button, so they're hitting get a demo. But then you have email us here and call. So do you know generally how much people are doing the form versus the email call?
I could tell you right now, actually. So let's see here, email to sales, there might be 1 or 2 per month. Usually it's 0 to 1 per month.
1 to 2 emails a month?
0 to 2 leads per month that use that email to sales. And then the call center ones where they're using that number to call, actually that one averages out to probably, let's see, let's go over just the last handful of months here. I would say average of about 7 per month come in by calling. And then we do have, and I think we'll use Sales IQ when we get to that point, but we do have the in-website chat, and our coordinator, it just depends on the month. Back in February, he was able to convert 9 people from chat over to leads. But typically it's
When was this? Sorry.
What was that? When was that?
Yeah, what month was that?
That was February. So like February and March and April, he averaged getting 7.6 leads in from the chat box. And then from May until current, it's gone down to about 2.5.
Oh, yes, it's gone down drastically. But okay, this is helpful to understand. So web chat, we'll put 7.5. Got it. And those were sales ready leads generated from it?
Those were, yes, sales generated leads.
Okay. Any other way someone can convert on the site or convert in general? Call to actions here.
I think that's it. It would just be going through the lead form, and then they could choose to call or email or do the demo, but that's it. We don't have any other besides leads that we're already working that might convert later on in one of our lead nurturing campaigns or something like that. This is going to be the only initial conversion options.
Got it.
Well, okay, I guess also we would have, like on our Get App and Gartner and those platforms, there's a separate lead form actually on that platform, and we're given that lead. But that wouldn't be lead driven though. That is, we're just paying for those leads basically.
Yeah. So they're Gartner Software Finder, they're actually converting on their platform.
Yeah.
Platform. Got it. Super productive meeting, guys. Thank you so much. Going through conversions. We went through all of the onboarding checklists today. We were able to get through all of that. So thanks for your patience and thanks for working with me there. We also got into discovery. This is very productive. We got through quite a bit from a marketing perspective. Went through everything we discussed in our last meeting. We did a recap, went through ideal customer profile, your current customer profile, learned a little more about the software offering. And then we got into the high-level strategy for marketing, some of those high-level lead drivers, and then into some of the nuance on how much was being spent, how each of those are translating into leads generated. talked a little bit about how we can build reports to support you there. Then we got into conversions, which is, hey, we got traffic. How do we actually get them into the sales workflow? So our next call will probably pick up with sales. We'll recap everything from this call in the next one. We have booked our next calls. We have all the discovery meetings booked. If you guys have any questions in the meantime, feel free to shoot it over. This is a great amount of notes. Thank you for going through the processes in detail. You guys have any questions for me before we wrap up today's meeting?
No, I don't think so.
Excellent.
No,
Team,
good.
it's great to meet with all of you. We're going to get you a system to support you, and we'll see you on the next meeting.
Awesome. Thank you so much, Drew.
Thanks, guys.
Thanks,
Appreciate
Joe.
it. Enjoy the rest of your day. So, yeah. Fills out the book a demo. They get on the Calendly page, and at round robin assigns to a salesperson. Where do things go from there?
Yeah, so it's interesting because the round robin is not actually a true round robin. I don't want to bore you with the details, but it goes to a round robin that it still goes to either or my coordinator, who will then now look at everyone's round robin availability and still manually assign it, trying to give equal leads and stuff like that. So it's there's a lot of manual part. In fact, it's unbelievable, and I'll say this very kindly because this is recorded. It's amazing how far we've come, working 3 or 5 steps behind our competitors with how long it takes for my sales team to get that lead and things like that. But so to answer your question, yeah, it gets assigned to.
Can I pause you real quick? So you said it's not a real round robin. You didn't want to bore me with the details. We don't have to get into the weeds, but just out of curiosity, when someone books, Calendly has its own round robin feature, right, with the different users within Calendly. So you're saying that's the round robin, but it doesn't necessarily reflect the users in no-go? Is that the reason it's manual? I'm just trying to understand why it's manual.
Yeah. So like normally a round robin, it would be an automated thing where I imagine the real round robin it would just start sending leads when the next one comes in.
Yes.
But there's still that manual part in the middle of that part of the system, which causes a huge slowdown. And we still make sure that lead is viable. It doesn't automatically go to a salesperson. Our sales coordinator reaches out, confirms information, verifies email, phone number, things like that, which I know CRMs have, and third-party software does that for you, like duplicates and false. We call them over here because there's like that duped us into 5 sales. So these are the ones we want to stay away from. So
it's like a junk lead.
Yeah, old. So anyways, and so what I'm saying is just it is amazing. But one of the pain points is by the time my sales executive gets that lead, it could be stale. And because we have no automations, they might currently be on a demo, right? Like this. And
Right.
and they got a lead and they weren't pinged. So they have to constantly refresh your computer to see if your lead comes in. We do have a workaround on that now, but it's human error.
Not real time still.
Oh yeah, and so sometimes, when I came on board about 10 months ago, we had we had leads that weren't being connected with for 2 hours, 3 hours, maybe even a day or 2. Well, at least a day. And so we've gotten that down to an average of for my sales coordinator, under 5 minutes, 10 to 5 minutes. But then our sales executive, by the time they get it, under 30 minutes. So again, it's just where I came from. We had 60 seconds to respond. And that person who asked for the information through our old system, Vint Solutions, they were like, I literally submitted that 18 seconds ago. And we were the first. And so things like software finder, software advice, certain leads where there's multiple people calling or multiple, where they sell to multiple, companies like ourselves that we're paying $123. That's where the money is, by the way. If anybody wants to not work at their jobs, I think is in this false lead gathering campaign. So I think,
But real quick, just want to make sure I'm clear on the process this far. So you're saying someone goes on the website, they click on book a demo, takes them to the Calendly page. When they book on the Calendly page, before that event is actually booked on someone's calendar, the sales rep's calendar, your sales coordinator will qualify them first, correct?
No, so sorry. So if they do if they go through the whole system themselves, yes, they will book a demo. So sales coordinator does go in there and try to verify and do all that. You know what? I have to confirm on that. I still want to confirm, but the demo's booked, but we still haven't verified if the lead was good or not, I should say. So
I think it might be helpful if I just get your eyes on what I'm seeing. So I'm trying to connect the dots in my head here. So I think it'd be
Let me see if I can explain. I think I know what you're trying to say too.
Yeah.
So when they come into our system so there's a 2-part form. The first
Right.
part is you're entering your information. That just goes into our system. That is what is manually being round robined by our sales coordinator. So when the lead is just coming in and we just have their sales information, that's when he's going through and he's deciding who can take this, who has too many leads, who's available right now, kind of thing. When you finish that page and it goes to the almost there and then they schedule right here, that one is round robined automatically by Calendly. So that will go on whatever the next available sales executive is. The problem is that sometimes, when we have a lead that does both, they do the form and they do the demo.
Yeah.
Sometimes because it's a manual process, the lead that is now assigned in the system isn't assigned to the sales executive that they just scheduled with on the
Right.
Calendly side. So that's a problem too, where then we have to I have to add you to this meeting because this is actually your lead. And so there's, I know that with Zoho, that whole system will get cleaned up for sure.
Yeah, I guess my question would be, why not just have it one form, right? Like on my page, I'm trying to understand the reasoning for that pre-form, the small form, before they get to the booking. Does that make sense?
That is a great question. I think we always wanted to try and capture lead information in the case that they weren't ready to sign on for a demo right then and there. We still wanted to have that lead information.
Okay.
That being said, is I don't know. I mean, and we don't have Calendly integrated with our no-go system. So if they were putting in their details, it wouldn't come into our system as a lead. It would only show up in Calendly, and it would still have to be manually put in on the no-go side. So,
Mm.
and also if I could jump in, Drew.
Yeah.
Part of our sales commissions were based on a conversion rate. So by having no free page, it's like they're like, oh, I just clicked it. I'm gonna have a med spa one day. I was just gonna ask for demo, but that would count against them for the conversion rate for bonuses and things. So there wasn't for a time. So we've since changed a little bit some of that. So but for
Wouldn't it be better for someone's conversion rate though if they're more qualified because they actually booked versus just filling out a form?
yes.
Yeah.
It would be, but I think the main part is, and this is why I've struggled even getting certain high intent filters going through on the form. For example, the phone number verification, and they're like, no, we don't want to do that because we don't want people to not leave their lead information. And it's
Yes.
I'd rather have less leads and more qualified leads than a
Yeah.
bunch of. So
You're
I know
bringing up the
a lot
crux of the art.
changed with Zoho. I know that the CEO, they're trusting us to be able to still bring in all of the qualified leads that we need to with whatever. I told them we're not doing the online forms anymore. We're doing forms, or anything that we're doing is going to be through Zoho. There are going to be filters. There's going to be different things set in place. So they know that change is coming and they're fine with it. So it's
Okay.
whatever's going to be the best. Whatever's going to be the best process is what we want to do. But we do have a good chunk of people that are just doing research and aren't ready to book a demo yet. And so we will have to figure out how to still capture their information and not push them away by forcing a demo, because we will lose leads that way. And we still are able to get leads to book later, even if they're just doing the form. We are able to convert a good chunk of those still. So we have to figure out a good middle ground there. But I'm in agreement with you that, yes, that would be a fantastic way to do it. And we know that everyone that's coming in is going to be able to be contacted by sales. So yeah, let's keep playing around with some options here for sure.
Yeah. And I just, so it sounds like you guys are willing to make a change, but here's the conflict I'm seeing. You just said we still need to find a way to capture the details of people who don't want to book right now, but still want to offer information.
Yes.
To me, it seems like if that's a must-have requirement, you must be able to accommodate both, then you do need both forms. I'm just seeing there's so much opportunity for drop-off between the form, the thank you for submitting page, then booking a demo.
Yes.
And that's where I'm like, just from other software companies, I think looking through their process, it would make more sense if they're going to get the demo. Like that to me is you're booking something. So I guess that would be my argument. But I can understand your argument too. And I like the the phone number validation thing. They're like, no, we don't want to validate because we don't want drop off. I can see that point. I can also see the point of, well, great, we need their phone number to contact them and remind them for the demo. So we might as well validate. This is what I'll say on this piece. My recommendation, based on what we've said so far, it will make life easier for the sales team and from a technical perspective. If we integrate with Calendly and we don't have a pre-form, we can do that. It's not a problem. We certainly can do that. To me, it seems a little over-engineered, but it's not a deal. It's not like it's not going to break the system. So with that, most likely in the action plan, I'll make a recommendation to just keep it to one form. If you guys want to do both, we can. But from a tracking perspective, it's much more straightforward. And I think you might even be surprised with the conversion rate if we just test the Calendly form only, how many bookings you get. Because they're now, you have drop off at every step. So they fill out the form, then it says thank you. They might even miss the button at the bottom to book. And so you might even see more bookings. We don't know. It would be something to test. Okay. And then last thing on here, Calendly is great. You can use it. We use Calendly too because Calendly works great with marketing tracking. So we use a system called attributor.io and Calendly together. So when people fill out this information, there's hidden fields here where it also captures the campaign they're from. If they clicked an ad, it brings the G-clip, all this good information. So that will probably be my recommendation. I think that will make more sense. Okay, so I have a better understanding now. Thanks for speaking to this. The form that's initially filled out here, this book a demo, get a demo form, this triggers a manual or a lead to be created, but it's manually assigned. And then booking on the calendar does a round robin and actually books on a rep's calendar, but it doesn't necessarily go into the CRM. Correct?
Correct. Yep.
Okay. Got it. Okay, that's very helpful. Let me just take 2 notes on this and then we will continue forward. Form. And then
Hey, how you doing, man? All right, keep on. There's dead silence.
Hey, how's it going? I didn't hear it the first time.
He's more of a fan of who's telling me off call, so you have to earn respect.
I got you.
And then just for clarification, you're saying the sales coordinator, they are looking at the first form that's filled out to then assign. That's not a true round robin, correct?
Correct. That's one of the way. Yes.
Coordinator will assign.
I mean, really, if we're talking true sales pipeline, when they're just doing the form, they are, for lack of better terms, coming in just as a raw lead. So you have your raw leads coming in from things like newsletter signups, things like that. I would say the majority that come through and end up being sales qualified in the sense that they are from the industry. It looks like legit business details, things like that. That doesn't mean that our sales team will actually get in contact with them, but the majority do come through. But when it does come through initially through that form, it comes through just as a lead distributor, raw lead. And then that's that first stop that our sales coordinators then are able to delete any spam leads and things like that and kind of filter through. They'll make their initial calls. If they don't get a hold of somebody and it looks like legit, they'll just assign anyways. If they do get a hold of somebody, even better, and they'll assign. If they realize that the phone number and the email is undeliverable and the phone number doesn't work or is not complete in the form or something like that, they will assign it to themselves and they might hold on to it for a day or two while they're trying to verify the lead. And then either they will and they'll get assigned, or we'll just go through and delete them. So I guess that would be more accurate in stating when it comes through on the form, where it's coming through more as a raw lead, where when it's coming through on the Calendly side, it's coming more straight as an sales qualified lead. Although again, like we said, they don't talk to each other necessarily, so it could get assigned to a new person or get scheduled.
Yeah, we'll get more into this, but you're telling me when they initially fill out the get the demo form,
Mhm.
that's marketing ready. When they fill out the Calendly form, you consider it sales ready.
Yes.
Okay. And I think we're on the same page there. Initial form, just one note here. Form test. Got it. So my question is, when it enters as a raw lead, let's just say we're in a situation where someone has clicked on an ad, they click on get a demo, and they are filling out the first form, not the Calendly form, the first form. What is the cadence after that, or what should it be? Should someone call them within 5 minutes and then the next day email them? Give me an idea of the cadence.
So again, this is when they filled out the form. I mean, the set up a demo, right?
So they haven't set up, they've only filled out the form that says get your demo now, but they haven't booked the demo.
Right. So it would be his name's a great guy. He's one of those guys who works like 60 hours a week when he shouldn't. But what he does is he tries to contact right away through a phone call. He'll leave a voicemail. He doesn't text, but he will send an email. And he's very good on the phone. But if he finds it viable, or if he gets a message saying it was like an actual, medical spa or something like that, he will sometimes assign it, but let the SE know that the first thing they do is they need to send a text and a call trying to get a hold of these people. But there's a huge drop off from it's, but like I said, sometimes it might, if it's a little bit fishy, he's scared of giving leads, so he'll keep it for a couple hours. The problem with that, as you could probably imagine, is real leads that go through that process turn stale, and ones we push through too fast are fake. Like we're getting ones from Performance Max a lot. We sell as a lead source that we have sold from before, but the process for we had yesterday, I don't know, 30 leads coming from Performance Max, and it took a couple hours for his new trainee guy to go through these to assign and see if they're viable, or reach out and verify. And
How do you know if they're viable?
for them, they reach out, and if someone answers the phone, they say, "Hey, this is," and they say, "We heard you might be interested. Is that true?" And they're like, "I've never heard of you," or they're like, "That's not me." And or they call the phone number, and maybe the email is correct, the phone number is right, wrong. I mean, all the things, right?
Or they'll just come through and it's just very clear that it's a bot or something.
Oh yeah.
And then we just delete
Got
it.
it.
I
Okay.
have a spiff for any salesperson that sells anything to a person's first name that's over 20 letters long, and that has digits. There's a spiff for that.
So it seems to me that this initial form is an issue, number one, because bots are filling it out. Number two, I mean, it doesn't really show the intent to be sales ready. It's just, it can be a lot of junk. So in your opinion, do you feel like, what do you have numbers on the conversion between the initial form and actually booking a demo? Do you have numbers? Like, is it 25%, 70%? Even a gut feels helpful.
Yeah. So yeah, give or take, and please correct me if I'm wrong, we obsess about this, but let's say 300 leads.
Sorry, and then when we say a lead, we're saying filled out the first form.
Oh, okay.
300 marketing qualified leads end up turning, I think about 45% convert to sales qualified. Of that 45%,
50% are sold.
And when we say sales qualified, we're saying booking a demo.
we're saying that the sales team got a hold of them, got a demo, or at least are in conversation with them. They are legit. Like, yes, we're looking, or we're doing research, or whatever.
Mm-hmm.
So from marketing ready to sales ready, 45%.
Yes.
So like
does that include a subscribe to newsletter form, or are we just talking
No,
about this?
we don't bring any of those into our CRM. The subscribe stays in a whole different list, and that's just people usually from social media and things like that.
Okay, get a demo. Okay, so it's still a good amount of the people filling out just the first form, even if they don't schedule, but almost half of them are end up booking.
Yeah, we're high for industry standard for sure, even with our slow process.
We're pros at workarounds by now.
But
I
we
think
could be higher. We could be better.
Yeah, I think a rule of thumb would be like 300 leads. I mean, I don't know how many that are pre-deleted. I'd have to say hundreds, a couple hundred maybe. And then, I would say, let's say 300 leads, we'll get an average of 120 to 130 demos from those leads. And then we have a 48% team average on closing. So like we'll have 65 sales off 138, 30 demos. So we have high closing, but again, we're just, I know there could be a way better system.
Got it. Very helpful. Okay.
And the plan would be too, at some point, if we know that that's the conversion, but we also, we really want to be getting 70 plus sales, we have to work backwards from there, right? So we have to, we convert this well from demos. So we need this many demos. So we need this many marketing leads. We'd love to be bringing in consistently 400 leads a month. But we just we can't do it with our lack of automations and our
we can't manage more than 50 leads per SE right now. Whereas past with CRMs, we could manage 200 leads, each.
Yeah.
So, right.
I imagine it would be, this is where I'm having this debate in my head. Maybe you guys can help me put it to rest, where I'm like, if you get rid of the first form and you were just to test having the Calendly form, I'm curious how much more time your salespeople would have back to just focus on those who are actually booking a demo, is opposed to just filling out a form with a couple fields. I guess that's the thing I'm playing in my head. Want to work with what you guys have now, but I think that's the biggest thing I'm thinking about is it worth testing, just going to the Calendly form, and then all the reps are reaching out and trying to connect with people who are much more qualified. So curious what that would look like. But with that, we can track both forms and work with what you guys have.
And what I will say too is our competitors are doing the same thing that we are doing. They have a 2-part form where you are filling out your information first and then you are scheduling your demo. So we should be making our system easier and the communication easier, so we do have less drop off. I do think our call to actions are off. I think the buttons are off. The font is off. There's too many words. Like there's a lot that can be improved in general. But I could tell you though that our boss is not going to want to get rid of that first form, so we're going to have to figure out some way around it. But that being said, is I think that we could tie it in a lot better than what it is and make it a lot more streamlined and efficient.
Yeah. One other question I had is, there's a call us phone number at the top of the form. I think we talked about call-ins average about 7 a month. Does this have a high conversion rate? My thing is, the more call to actions you have, oftentimes there's just more drop off. Have you guys done any testing on that?
Yeah, I could tell you, let me see here.
I think you guys said 7 call-ins a month was what I got.
7 average, and let's see, we average 2025. Let me see here. Sorry. So whether it's going through our direct chat on the website or if they call in. So I'm grouping all of those together just because I think it's going to be more accurate. We average between those 3 around, seven's not right. The call in or the chat with someone specifically is more like 1 to 2. Oh, I'm so sorry. The leads, yes. And then we average 1 to 2 sales per month from that 7. So yes, it's a great conversion rate for getting a hold of somebody on the chat. Looking at the wrong sheet. I apologize.
Nope, you're totally fine. Yeah, just wanted to see if there's value having it there. Seems like there is. The reason I'm asking, it actually makes things from a technical perspective much easier if we funnel to less conversions than to more. Because
Mhm.
if you have multiple call to actions on the site, we have to track every single way someone's engaging, whether it's through
Yeah.
form, Calendly, call us, which we can do. But if you guys are, if I had mentioned that and you said, oh, we can get rid of that, no one ever calls in, then that's kind of a win for both of us. We spend less time on the technical side, and you guys don't have to worry about sales supporting another avenue to convert. Okay, so it sounds like it's worth having there.
And can I just add just real quick, Drew? I
Sure.
think it might go without saying, but because of the handcuffs that we have in a lot of these areas, if we sell 50 a month, we failed. If we sell 70 a month, we're rock stars. The line of just that short amount of sales is astronomical. So we'll do anything on marketing and sales. We're trying to cast as many nets sometimes just to get fixies, like add 2 or 3 sales in any area we can. So, but it's because of all the workarounds that we're working with. So we'd love to work more. Obviously, it goes without saying, we want to work smarter, not harder, but we are continually trying to problem solve just to hit those marks. 60 is what we aim for, 70 we're rock stars, and 50 is worse, is horrible. So
Understood. Yeah, I'm glad you mentioned that. Yeah, I'll have this kind of debate with marketing and sales where I'm like, we can have more conversions, but it's much more difficult to support, both from sales resource perspective and from a technical perspective. And you may squeeze out more leads by having call us, fill out this form, book with us. And then the other side of the argument is if you had if all the call to actions were to book the demo on one Calendly page, would you have more qualified demos, maybe less leads, but more qualified demos that lead to sales, which we don't need to get too far into now, but I was just curious if you guys have maybe had that discussion. Okay, very helpful. Next thing here. So someone books, they just submit the initial form to their first name, last name, phone number, company, and email. That goes into the no-go software. You guys have a little cadence that you're running through to get to them. It's not automated. My question is, Ian, why not just put an email automation that immediately after they fill out the form, it just says, thank you for submitting. We'll get back to you shortly. Is there something like that going on?
yeah, we do have one of those. Sorry, we do have
It's very low class.
Yeah.
That comes from the sales thing. So again, with this no-go, there's nothing integrated with it. So automations are really not automated at all. We have to manually pretty much do everything. But yeah, there's a very quick from sales out of thanks for booking. Someone will get in touch with you shortly. But it's not pretty. There's no tracking on it. When we say there's no automations, there's really nothing we're working with, which is the whole reason we're moving over to Zoho.
Yeah, Calendly obviously sends a little thank you for submitting a request for demo, and a salesperson will be with you shortly, type thing.
But the first form doesn't. There's no automation.
The first form, yes, there's an automatic email that gets sent from the sales email. But again, it's nothing pretty, not that it even needs to be, but it just says, thank you for filling out our form or something like that. A sales member will get in touch with you shortly. But again, there's no tracking. There's no analytics that we can look on that. There's nothing like that on it. It was set up through Outlook. So something within our system that was set up years ago. But beyond that, it's not connected to any sort of actual email campaign because we don't have that integration. It was something coming from the internal system in a
It's pretty basic.
Yeah.
So with that, I fill out this form. I get a very basic thank you for submitting email. The cadence from there, send an email immediately. You mentioned someone on your team who's really good about, who works a lot. They will send an email immediately and then text them and then call them. Those are the 3 interactions just right after the lead submitted. Is that right?
Yeah, he will not text, but he calls, leaves a voicemail, and sends an email. And then if it's viable, if he deems it viable, he will assign it to a SE, and that SE who may or may not get pinged. It's getting better. There's but they will they'll call and text, but the first person does not text at all.
Who's the first person? Or do we call it the sales coordinator?
Yeah, so his name's sales coordinator will call and also leave voicemail and then email.
Yeah. So is setting these leads, right? So looking through them, vetting them, making sure that they have legitimate interest, that they're qualified,
Yeah.
and then setting up the demo for the next, for maybe an account executive to book, or he is just qualifying so that
He's trying to qualify, but I would say an average of 5 to 7 demos would be booked from that first call when they didn't set they just showed interest and he reached out. Last month he set up 7 demos from that first it's something. It's not like the best, but it's something.
okay,
but
so not even setting, just qualifying, like just qualifying to make sure.
trying to qualify them, and if he gets a hold of them, he helps set up a demo. Yeah.
Okay.
Which is redundant-ish, but I mean, it's like holding their hand. Sometimes they'll fill out a lead and they're still like, I know the second page maybe filling things out. So we'll get a ding saying, there's a new lead, but he has it down where if he calls too fast within a minute or a half, they'll say, oh, I was just filling out the thing for the demo to set up a demo. So then he's like, oh, I can help you finish that. So he now waits 2 minutes. It's just, I don't know. I could go on and on.
Yeah, I guess the thing that would be helpful for me to understand is how many interactions should any sales coordinator attempt before, let's say, giving up on the lead and letting it go to some kind of automated drip on the marketing side. Should they do 5 email attempts over 2 weeks? Should they just try an email, call, voicemail the
I
first
think we
day?
should go to automation instantly.
Yeah, zero. I think zero human would be the best.
Oh, great. Yeah.
I think
they're getting an automatic text. They're getting an automatic email with all all the actions of booking demos. That's all they're doing anyways. Is just trying to get them to book a demo. So as long as we have the automation set up like that, that's the dream.
Yeah, I'm sorry.
We can't automate the call though. So I'm curious, is call part of a cadence? Do we want that? Right? Because we can't, we could try an AI agent that qualifies them, but.
Well, if it's qualified, then I just wanted to ping my sales executives who will call them, like cut out the middleman, like, hey, I just got pinged. Like in my old job, I got pinged. It's a, through my AI or whatever, it's this qualified lead. I have 60 seconds to call them. If I can't, then it goes to, hey, somebody get my lead.
How do you know if they're, because from my understanding, the qualification happened on the call, qualifies them on the call. So that's the part where I'm like, how do we automatically qualify them? We can do it through data.
Too is as we're building this new system, and especially as we are being able to integrate with things like Google Ads, which is where the majority of these not real leads are coming from, and the Google Ads is getting the instant feedback of what's converting and what's not converting. Then the lead quality is going to go way up. And I would think it would be more of the exception than not that we are getting an unqualified spam lead rather than a sales qualified lead.
Yeah. And I want to dig into this. And if we can put this to rest, we don't have to just keep going in circles here, but I do think it's really important. And we can just come up with something for now and we can always tweak it later. But what I'm trying to understand is the steps. Someone fills out this book a demo form. They haven't actually scheduled through Calendly, enters no-go, going through there and leaving a voicemail, calling them. I'm like, at what point is someone deeming the new lead that's entered is qualified for the next sales rep to actually go out and book the demo? That's the big question.
There's not really, I would say 1 out of 10 at best is getting a hold of, maybe not even that, maybe 1 out of 20. And so they're getting passed off to the sales executive with the assumption that they are a qualified lead because they have actual industry type business name. They have a working or appearing to work phone number and email. Once we actually start making a more high intent lead form where they are verifying their phone number, which is what all of our competitors are doing also, I think that's going to really filter out any of the unqualified leads. It's going to be the only unqualified leads I feel like we get just come from Google not realizing that they're sending us unqualified leads. And so it keeps just coming through. Otherwise, like pretty much all of the leads that we get in from any of our sources, from Facebook, from the software platform, the review platforms, they're all qualified leads. They're all ready to be getting a hold of instantly. So it really is more of an exception. And so again, once we are getting these automations, et cetera, set up, we're not going to be running into that problem like we are right now.
Got it. Are we okay with the initial Cadence in the future Zoho system to send a email and a text automatically after the form is submitted and have do 0 qualification and then have it immediately sent to a rep for them to follow up and book a demo?
My thought initially, after looking at what you have your pipeline set up, when I was watching some of your videos, the initial, what I think should happen is when they come in, even as a sales qualified lead, they're going through a round of automations. And really it's until they book that demo, they're not assigned. They're just going through the process of.
So no calls prior to booking a demo.
Maybe that might not be the best way to do it, but
Well, that's the question I'm asking. And if we don't have an answer here, that's okay. My question is, what should the cadence look like for, we'll call it a lead that should receive communication from the sales team? Because if you tell me just email and text, that we can all automate. But if you're like, every single person filling out this form should get one call, even if they don't connect, they should get a call, then that's a different conversation. So that's because I'm like, this is the difference between fully automated before booking a demo and not fully automated. That's why I'm pressing on
no,
this.
it's good questions.
Yeah, and it's funny. It's like I don't know what I don't know. I do know that there's like AI assistants and stuff like that. There's been things where I book a demo and I'm talking to an AI person for like 3 texts, and once I responded back, all of a sudden a human jumped in and like all these, right? This one guy from SendBlue, they send all these different communications to find out if I'm real, and it triggers something. I can grab, if there's if there's some information that we're not able to answer, I can grab for 1 minute and you could ask them directly if that would be helpful. But if it's not, I don't have to.
I don't think we should pull in anybody else right now, only because
it's offering.
It's going to muddy it a little bit. But what I would think is, yes, one call would be necessary. I would think when they first get, when they first come into the CRM, into the Zoho, like this would be, the future thinking, they would get the automated text, they'd get the automated emails. And then I would say, and because now all of these things are automated and our sales coordinators are not having to manually do a lot of this stuff, they're going to have more time anyways to be making phone calls. So if they're getting the automated text and email up front, and then maybe it's you have to call them within the first 24 hours or the first 2 hours or something like that. So
okay, so automated email and text, we can certainly do that. What I would like to do is come up with some kind of cadence. We don't have to do this now or even before the action plan. We'll just put it on our list to come up with one with you. But the idea would be we decide on a concrete cadence initially, and it's really our best guess. So I'll just give you an example. A cadence could look like automated email and text the second they fill out the form. So just an immediate. And then the next day, a call should appear on their record for each rep, a task to call the lead. And then after that, it's just done, right? That's a terrible cadence, but just give you an idea. That'd be 3 interactions over 2 days. And then we can test that. And if we notice that nobody is connecting or we get 0 conversions from sales ready to book to demo, then we can increase the cadence to 4 interactions to 5, or we could take it from 3 interactions to 10 over 2 weeks. But we just need to start with something so we can start to track it. And then you can start to say, hey, you know what? We did 7 interactions and everyone on average books at 5. So now we're just going to minimize it to 6. So what am I trying to say? If we come up with a cadence, then we can start to measure it, and then we can fix the cadence as we go. But right now you guys have nothing, right? There's no standardized cadence, and that's the thing to fix.
Yeah. The cadence is as fast as we can. I know some cadences have it like a drip, it's not overwhelmed salespeople. They have leads coming in at 2 times a day or 3 times a day, and some people have it. But we're racing against the time, against all these automations, all these other AI assistants, that we're just every lead is really stale, honestly. Right. So,
Yeah. I mean,
I mean-
you do have a cadence for your team, which is you expect 40, what is it, 40 calls, 40 emails a day.
no, yeah, no, that's my old job. Sorry. That's
Okay.
hard. Sorry. Yeah.
But-
That's yeah. But yes,
We do have
there's-
a cadence, but it's not set up with a system that would allow them to do anything more. So it's not enough right now once they become assigned.
Yeah, and I don't want to get nitpicky with the language, but when I'm saying cadence, I'm saying like a standardized setup, and it doesn't even have to be exact, right? If you say email and text day one, the automation can take care of that. But if the call is supposed to happen day two and someone doesn't, that's okay. It will still just have a task for them to call, even if they get to a day three. The
Right.
cadence is like, what's the ideal situation look like for contacting? Whereas what you're saying is, hey, having a quota or a metric of, hey, we'd like 40 calls, 40 emails. That's a little different than what I'm saying.
Gotcha. So the cadence would be lead comes in, gets signed, it is going to call. If it goes right to voicemail, he's going to power call. He's going to, or he's going to text because we're having issues with, if it's iPhone, which most businesses have, we get a hold of them right away, but we're having huge issues with GoTo. So then now we're using our work phones to call our customers and getting through right away. So we have that whole process going on. And then if we leave a voicemail right away and we text right away, and so we're supposed to, the SOP, I guess, for that day is 3 contacts that first day, second day, 3 contacts at least for the second day, try a different time. Most effort is done in the first 48 hours, and then we have it dropping off, and then they're in our system for 45 days before we.
Perfect.
Yeah.
Yep, that's what I want to hear, because some people are like, well, we would just keep trying indefinitely. I'm like, are you? Like, is day 45 for an old lead the same value as a new lead? Like, and that's kind of the game that we play, is how much resource do we want to allocate to a new lead before we give up on them, basically.
Yeah, I could even send you that little SOP too, if that helps you.
I would love to see that. Yeah.
Yeah, I can send it to you right now. But and then also I could say, sorry, tip my tongue. Oh shoot, yeah, I'll send it to you.
Yeah.
But keep in mind too that this SOP again is built within a broken system. Like, this is not
Right.
what we really would want the SOP to be.
Yeah. Oh,
Yep.
but the tasks. Sorry. So we don't have any system to remind us of tasks of 15 calls. Like to remind you of the SOP. It's all just here because there is no It's not. There's no to do list.
The system's limited in reminding you guys of what.
There's no reminder. Yeah, they're all personal reminders, and there's nothing like we used to have other businesses.
Sounds like you're talking about your glorious ex when you say that.
Yeah,
Like it was with my other business. Yeah.
yeah. She looks hideous.
Nothing like my ex. Perfect. Yeah. Send me over the SOP. That would be great. And then that was really useful. Being able to see the cadence. I understand that was a previous system. What we'll be able to do is, just knowing what you're doing now, it will enable us to give you better suggestions when we get into the action plan readout, which we'll do after the discovery. So appreciate that. Let's say you connect. You get on a call. They're like, yes, I want to book a demo right away. They didn't book it through the site. What would you do in that situation? I think it's a question probably for
You will. So you're saying we got a hold of them, and we we'll set a time to book with them. Yeah, we'll show our calendar. We send links, and is that what you're saying? Like once the salesperson tries to get a hold of them.
Yeah. So we'll take best case scenario. They call right after the form is filled. And they're like, yes, I'd like to book a demo right away. We're very interested.
Right.
You stick it on the calendar, ideally as soon as possible.
Yeah, there'll be a little pre-discovery, just to try to, connect with them as being a real person. Say, yeah, what time works for best for you? A couple of options, yeah. And then I can send you a link, and I'll help you set that up right now. And yeah, just red carpet trying to get that demo, and then see if there are a couple of questions that you want to go over, or what are some pain points. Like I said, discovery before we get the call with them. And then sometimes they want a demo in 30 minutes, and you're like, hey, let's do it. So.
Okay. Sales rep books demo as soon as makes sense. Okay. The demo goes well. Sales rep shares their screen. You guys are on GoToMeeting, correct?
We got rid of it because we were actually professional trainers on how to help our clients understand and download GoTo and how to use it. So I feel like we should have got spiffed $1 billion for that. And then so we went to Zoom, Because if they don't have a Zoom, they apologize. If they don't have a go-to, we apologize that they don't have a go-to, that we're using some sort of, oh,
Right.
you don't use a metric system. I'm sorry. So so we stopped that about a month ago, which has made everyone's lives way better.
Yep. So you're over on Zoom now.
Yeah.
You hop on the Zoom meeting.
Yep.
Share their screen, go through the platform, answer any questions they may have. Are you typically doing a one call close or just the demo and then close? Tell me what this typically looks like.
Yeah, well, that's ideal. So we have
Yeah.
seniors. You have seniors and we call them juniors, but unofficially juniors. But our seniors, we try to close them the first sale. That call to action. Like, when would you like to be set up? But yeah, we're trying to close them the first time, and sometimes, like usual, like, oh, I need it. I'm just one of the workers here. I want to do this demo so I can show it.
Yeah, maybe not the right person.
The right person, all that, all the things. My wife, I got to talk to my wife about buying this car. So I just, and I don't say that sexist. I heard that a lot. So please delete this from the conversation. Sorry. But there's all, but we do try to close from the first demo, and the demo would last anywhere from 30 minutes to a little bit over an hour.
Okay. So let's just and the reason I'm going to go with ideal situations now is I just want one path to revenue in the system in Zoho. So at least supports you making money. And then we can start to do the infinite number of split paths where it's like, well, sometimes this happens, because it's like, there will always be those cases, and it's valid to bring them up. But the reason I try to power through the ideal is sometimes what people will do when they build a system is they'll do every single situation that could ever occur, and they only build like 2% of the system, and it's like you never got a system support.
It's like a choose your own adventure book. Yeah.
Exactly.
Okay,
Exactly.
So we'll call and set up a demo. Demo will show up, and there'll be a little discovery. They'll record the call in 33 minutes. Closes that deal and says, "You want to move forward?" He goes, "Yeah, I'd like to move forward." All right, great. I'm going to send you agreements. We just moved our 40-page documents, literally for the past 6 years, down to 4 pages, which is brilliant, with hyperlinks. Thank goodness. And then what we'll do is we'll answer any questions. Sometimes we'll even try to walk through the contract if needed, answer any questions. We go over pricing, obviously, and send contracts. Sometimes we have to wait for a third party like Gravity or WorldPay for payment processing, but in 1 or 2 months, we're going to have our own processing that our sales team will be able to one-stop shop. Fred Meyer sell that as well, so that'll be nice. That's going to be a huge game changer.
And if I could just pause you for 2 moments.
So sorry, I did the thing.
No, you're doing great. This is good. I just want to make sure I'm following along. So if the demo goes well, let's just say it's a first demo close, and they're like, how do I move forward? You'd say, I'm sending you over an agreement. I want you to look over it. If it makes sense, if something doesn't make sense, you can ask me questions. If it does, sign it, and then we'll send you over a payment link.
So they'll fill out all their information, and then also
in the agreement. In the agreement, is that what we're talking about?
Correct. Is that right? Yeah. Right. Jump in. We send an agreement, and then.
Well, I think it has the software edition information, but do they pay? I don't think they pay from the actual agreement. They sign the agreement, and then the CSM gets a hold of them to process the credit card, depending on
correct.
whether they did annual or monthly, and then what agreement or what edition, all that.
So they sign the agreement, and then the rep reaches out, says, "Congrats on signing," something like that.
Your CSM team member, which is client success manager, person reaching out to you. Also, we set up what's called the kickoff call. If all goes well, we set up the kickoff call with them, and then their CSM manager takes it from there and gets them all.
CSM is collecting payment. I'm just trying to understand how you get paid. The CSM can handle that.
Yeah.
So everything after.
Did they update it into where they gave sales team access to process the first time? That way they weren't waiting on the CSM.
Yeah, but it never quite. It never launched.
Okay, so we could potentially, that could be in the sales step. I think we just have to figure out the right way to do it. That way we're not waiting on anybody to get these people in. But anyways, I just was throwing that in there.
Is the sales rep booking the kickoff call after the agreement signed for the prospect or for the new customer?
Yeah, yes. I mean, we're talking about before, but we're saying, hey, as soon as you sign those up, we'll get you scheduled for a kickoff call. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, it's a process we added just recently too, a few months ago, where the sales team now, because what was happening, there's a huge drop off because we sold them, they signed contracts, then all of a sudden this number that they don't recognize or somebody's trying to reach out doing this kickoff call, they're like, what's this? What's going on? So the more
you do handoff.
yeah, the handoff's always been tough. And so the more that the salesperson can get them to do because we got them and they like us, I'm all for.
Okay, got it. That's helpful. So how's creating the agreement? Is that a mess, or do you guys just have templates? You pre-fill it? What does that look like?
The creating agreements, they're nice now. They're easy and straightforward. No.
Because the reason I'm asking, we can bring them into Zoho. So, for example, when I send an agreement out, I click 3 buttons. I click which contract I want, and then it merges all the information that just sends out and requests signature. Is that how your guys' system works currently?
No, but we want it to.
But that'd be cool.
Yeah, that's what we'd like for you. You just select what agreement you want. It merges information from their record in the CRM to the contract. It populates it automatically, and then you just click send, and it will have the sign fields. They don't even have to configure it. It's pre-baked in there, and then they can just sign. So
what would that life even be like?
I probably would have a lunch.
I had that from day one, so I'm a little spoiled. I don't know any different. But yes, that's the dream for any client who's sending out an agreement. We want it as automated as possible.
And just to add, we do want to move contracts. Oh, sorry.
Sorry,
No,
Jen.
I just was saying with Zoho, there's actual like analytics that come with it, and you can see if they've opened it, what stage they're at, and all of that. We don't have that right now, so that's going to be huge. Also, there's no reminder to sign like you get with Zoho. Like I remember when you sent the agreement first, we were first starting to work together. I was getting one every hour. Like, don't forget, this is going to expire. Don't forget to sign this. Don't forget to sign this. Our clients get none of that. There is no.
Sorry, I bugged you so much. I didn't know it was going out every hour. That's funny.
Oh, yeah, it is. But it's okay. It got me to, I was like, oh crap, I gotta take care of this right now. And so then I did.
On hour number 6, you're like, oh my gosh, here, sign.
We're like, now we hate this guy. I'm hating him.
Yeah, we want to move away from Dropbox, sign all that stuff. We would love one-stop shopping with that kind of stuff and make it just streamlined so much. There's too much manual work going on because we have to keep on checking Dropbox and logging in to see if anybody signed. We get weak notifications sometimes, but it's just anyway.
So another thing we can do, since Zoho Sign knows when a document's completed, everyone signed it, we can also trigger the email to say congrats on completing the agreement, book your kickoff call with the CSM, and it will know the rep that's assigned to that deal, and it will send from their email, and it can add their signature and everything, so they don't even have to do that. And it can send reminders if they don't book. So if that's of interest, that's something we can.
That is of interest.
Okay, perfect. Let me just put it.
Especially we get so many ghosts. There's a big drop off, Drew. Once we've had amazing demo, we send contracts. For some odd reason, they ghost, and we don't know why, variant reasons, but it would, any follow-ups or automations for that process would be, like you said, a reminder every hour until they sign, or is there anything that we can make clear that was confusing? Blah blah blah. Yeah, we can
certainly do that.
We're getting 20 deals a month ghosting us that we have sold, sent contracts, it's in the bag, and then something happens. 20 deals a month.
Yeah, there's a joke in sales that like the proposal stage is where deals go to die, so we try to avoid that as much as we can with reminders and things
easy as possible.
Yep. Contract sign, automation finance, sales rep, deal and sends hand off email to CSM. Excellent. Okay, so they sign. They once they sign, let's just say we'll take it from the ideal would be Zoho sends them an email and says, congrats on completing the agreement. You can book your kickoff here with your CSM, Drew. And here's a little bit about Drew, and then they can book from there. So that's effectively the handoff from sales over to CSM. From that point, they book their kickoff call, and now they're in customer success. You wash your hands clean. They're no longer in your side of the house. Is that correct?
That's correct. And just, I know you already know this, but somehow we're going to have to integrate that part. That's when we need to, export out of Zoho back into our no-go, and they take it over.
Okay, and this is where you take information out of no-go, give it to the CSM team so that they can put it into their desk. Like, what are they using to manage this?
The other.
Are they using no-go as well?
Yes.
Okay, it's all no-go. Okay. So
We'd love to bring them over, but we have to do baby steps. So
What
Yeah,
we'll
okay,
have to do at this point too is once they actually convert to a client, the agreements have been signed, we are going to have to create some sort of automated integration push to have all of their details pushed over to our no-go system. That's like the deal breaker for our CEO, is just to be able to push. And then it's just the general, I mean, it would have to be their notes, and then obviously their contact information and business information, and then the contract itself, a copy of that. So we'll have to figure out how to get all that. And he's a software developer, so he can figure out on our end, like whatever we need to do to accept that information. But
he's top 1% of figuring those things out, building things.
It'll be some sort of Zoho flow that we're going to have to do.
Mm-hmm.
Right. Yeah. So we can connect the no-go via API, right? They have an API. Okay. So what we'll do is when what we can do is once the agreement is completed, we can send all the information from Zoho that they want in no-go automatically via webhook. No-go can absorb that information, then create whatever records they want.
Perfect.
So
great.
Okay. We can add that. Contract is completed.
And then it's just worth noting, does want our boss's name is, he would like a kind of a ballpark when he needs to start working on that and talking to the right people. So to create that,
He said he'll need about a week.
Yeah, a week and a half, which means 2 weeks. Week, yeah, a week.
Yeah. So what we'll do on our end when we and I know we just wanted to focus on marketing and sales mostly for this discussion, because we don't want to get into customer success too much, right? Because that's not going to be included in the first version of the system. We'll do that after, correct? Okay. So we have most of what we need detail-wise for marketing and sales here, which is great. We still got time during this meeting to clean up some of the notes, but this is a great amount of information we've got from lead in to deal closed to push over to no-go for CSM, customer success. We can use our next call, if you guys would like, to do a action plan readout. So we can take the next couple of days to create an action plan, and then Monday, I believe, is our next call. We can turn around and tell you exactly how we would build the system. I know you guys want to get moving fast. That's why I'm suggesting this as an option. And then you'll know the cadence of, hey, these are the things we do weeks 1 through 2, and then 2 through 4. This is what we'll focus on. We give you a timeline and things like that. Any feedback on that? What are you guys thinking?
Was there a meeting tomorrow though at 9:30, or is that?
Yeah, we had one scheduled.
We do have one. Yeah, we do have one tomorrow at 9:30. What I would suggest is we don't have that meeting. You give us time to create the action plan so we can present it to you on Monday. Unless you have other things you want to discuss on this meeting and tomorrow's meeting, then we certainly can.
The other thing that we would want to discuss, and this is where especially is going to be wanting to chime in, is we have to make sure that up front, and we could discuss this on Monday, but we just want to make sure we have all of our like lead drip campaigns and all of that set up into Zoho campaigns. We just have to make sure that that's all going to be speaking to the CRM and how that's going to work. And we just have to make sure that that's going to be a part of the whole process. But that's, you just knowing that we need them to be linked is probably good enough until Monday, and we can ask more detailed questions about how that all works then. But that was really the only other thing that we wanted to make sure was in the process.
Yeah. And I guess whatever else you might need, Drew, for the next couple of days, like that would be really important now for you to hear. I'm sure, we don't know what we don't know, but is there any other part of the process that you would need to know for a game plan? Like, I know we're interested in the AI assistant a little bit. But I don't know what that looks like or smells like. I know our boss is interested in it. We want to take as much human element out for human mistakes. I want to go on the record by saying I just want to take all the human element out if we can, as much as we can, with still sounding like we're human,
We're
right?
going to try to displace as many workers as possible with AI. That is our goal. We're with you.
Yeah.
Just kidding. No, we can pitch AI to you. This is what I suggest. We do a minimum viable system first, which is what's the version of the system we can create in the next couple of weeks so that you can get in and use the thing.
Yep.
Then after that, I am happy to go down the rabbit hole of advanced AI solutions, what it might look like. My fear in pitching those solutions too early is that we never get the first version of the system done. Maybe you guys are you know this. There's something called Gall's Law, which is you can't build an advanced system from scratch. You have to evolve it from a simple working system first. So we want to get that simple working version system, and then we can evolve it into whatever we'd like. But my fear is if we try to get too advanced too quick, it just falls apart. We never even get it done. So I'm
totally agree.
Yeah, I hear you. And we can mention potential AI solutions during our action plan readout. Just so you know, I did take note of the campaigns to Zoho CRM connection. We will keep that in mind, and we'll make sure to have that as a part of our action plan too. Just so everyone's aware on this call, these discoveries are never technically done. We could do 100 discovery calls, but what I'm trying to do is decide once we get through everything at a high level, we start to hit a point of diminishing returns where it's like we can only really get the necessary detail for development from getting in and starting to develop the system.
Yep.
So that's where I'm feeling we hit now. We've got from lead in to deal out. We have what we need to start building. And so I say we take it back now. We start to create the plan. And then we can present it to you on Monday, unless you guys are like, no, Drew, we really wanted to talk about this, and this.
No, I think that's a good plan. I mean, the only other thing that I would mention too, in as far as automations or even AI goes, is that I saw during one of our initial Zoho demos that there is like an AI note taker who can give the overviews of the contacts that are, or the connections that are happening with the leads. I just want to make sure somehow that's also in the workflow. So whether that is just an AI transcript of whatever demos they're on and it automatically gets put into the system, or because that's one of the other points that is a really time consuming thing for our sales staff, is to do all the follow-up notes and then the follow-up emails, and they're doing it all by hand every single time. And
cut paste. Yeah.
So you're saying, hey, let's say they have a Zoom meeting, Zoom's taking AI notes, that looks through the transcript, does an AI summarization. You want that inside of Zoho?
Yeah, we want that to be a part of in the notes. Yeah.
One more thing, Drew, just in case. I totally, two things. I know you talked about Calendly because of the tracking. I totally agree with that. But again, it's lacking in a lot of automations with that. And you're talking about maybe dovetailing some of Zoho's automations with that, because to optimize, again, those things, that's important. But then, shoot, I had one more thing, but keep going. I just want to,
when it comes back to you, let me know. We can certainly look at the Zoom AI transcript automatically porting over to the notes within Zoho. We can certainly do that. Just so you guys are aware, our development method, we call it rolling wave. Essentially what that means for you is we'll create an action plan and we'll start from the top and work our way down. We do that because, and when I say the top, we're starting at the top of the customer journey. The reason we do that is because the more problems we can solve upstream in your business, it automatically solves problems downstream.
Yeah.
And we'll just work from top to bottom. But as we do that, we will meet with you on a regular basis. And if you say, you know what, when you first read that in the action plan, we wanted it, but now we know that's not a priority, we can just deprioritize as we go. That just allows you to have a full blueprint of the system before we get started. And then also the flexibility to add or subtract things as we go through it. So if the reason I say that, if something comes back to you in 2 weeks from now, you can still add it to the plan. We're not going to penalize you for that. We want to keep it flexible.
Gotcha. Okay, I have one more thing on my mind. Sorry, I just remembered. This might be just more for discovery, but my sales team, when they do a demo, they have multiple screens open. We are taking notes. We use templates in our OneNote, and then we have the things that we're showing on screen. Then we're using so many open tabs to do all our things for presentations because we're using multiple third-party things. And like, but one thing I just wanted to mention that because obviously we want everything, so we're just looking at one internal, just living there, you know. But like with our phone, I just want to mention our phone system has been a huge challenge with GoTo Connect. We got rid of that, but GoTo Meetings, I should say, we got rid of GoTo Meetings. GoTo Connect we're still using, but the integration of like, oh, they're responding to my work phone that AP provides, text messages to if they're, you know, at my last place, if I text or anything, I didn't have to copy text. It all breadcrumbed into one system somehow.
Yeah. Yeah. Like the text, the emails, the calls, all logged in one record.
Yeah. It just, but what we're doing is we're copying and pasting every text, every email from our Outlook and inputting it to the no-go.
Yeah, that will not be the case in Zoho. Zoho will have an IMAP integration with Outlook automatically. So all those emails will log automatically. Text is a bit of a different story. We like to use message media. It will have actually like an iMessage like section in the record, and it will just show all the different text back and forth. So we'd
inside Zoho or third party?
Inside Zoho. It's inside Zoho. It's a third party tool called Cinch Message Media.
Okay.
But it's native. Once you got those things, it's a connection to Zoho. So you go to their contact record, underneath that it says messages, and you can just see all the messages sent back and forth. Really useful.
Oh, that's really
so we'll suggest that the iMessage. I'll put a section here for message.
And then I had one final question too. Just so on the marketing side, since we're building from the very beginning of the journey, it's going to be really important for us to be able to the penny track the campaigns and the lead sources. And when would that conversation be as far as how those need to be set up in the system? And then the two-part question is we did kind of bring it up last week, but we have referral partnerships that we are going to have to track, and we're holding them accountable to a certain amount of referrals per month. So we're going to have to be able to pull very quick analytics. The one thing that kind of made me start moving towards putting them in as a vendor, which I know you didn't recommend doing, but the reason why is because I could go to that vendor page and I could see at the very bottom everybody that's connected to that vendor, then every referral just at a glance. Not to mention there's also a vendor portal that they can log into and get those stats as well. So I would love something to be able to set up like that. If it ends up being that it still needs to be just a company or whatever, then that's fine. But overall, we're going to need very detailed tracking for some of these lead sources.
Yep. You can use, I understand the reason you guys went over to vendors. I would just have them as contact and accounts with a field that says they are referrer, not a referral, a referrer. And then the referral will have a field that can look up to referrers. And that way you can go to a contact if they're a referrer, or you can go to an account if they refer business to you, and you can see everyone they referred over to you. Also, there's an out-of-box portal that you can enable and just send to anyone who's a referrer. So they become a referrer, you can send them a portal, and then they can see those records as well. So I'll add a note.
Okay, so it'll still work the same then as what we were hoping. So that's great. I just want to make sure we're doing it right, like the first time. The other part too is that we want to give all of our referral partners a very specific form or QR code that they can use to bring in those referrals that'll automatically get tied to them in the system. And you can do that as a vendor. So as long as you could do that also as a contact, then that's fine.
Yeah, you need a unique form with their ID. Ideally, typically how we do it, it's one form, but there's a unique ID for that specific referring organization. And so once those get filled out, it logs under their account.
Okay, perfect.
It gives them credit for referring. So we can certainly do that. Yeah.
That's great.
Excellent. Yeah, we can certainly mention that. Just so you're aware, we are big on tracking. We'll break down exactly how that works. There's about 7 different fields we'll add to your system between medium, content, campaign, term. We also will do the conversion. So we talked about conversions, different ways they can enter the site, and pay. So hey, they converted from our subscribe to us form, but on this specific blog post, something like that, you'll be able to get very specific as to where they came in. We also use attributor.io. The reason we do, it can track marketing data across pages. So if you add you'll notice on a lot of call to actions, right? There's all this marketing data appended to the end, so the URL is super long.
Mhm.
If you click on a URL like that and navigate to the next page, oftentimes you lose all visibility, and that's why people are big on landing pages that are only one page and you can't navigate off because they don't want to lose the tracking. Our workaround for that is we use attributor.io. It carries that information across the site and saves it for a year. So it's really good for first touch attribution. And then we can pass all that marketing information once they fill out a form to the CRM. So we'll share all of that. We'll go over that in detail. A lot of that actually we do in zBlitz, which you guys purchased. So we'll be adding some of those fields already for you. But with that, I have a great amount of information. Again, if we don't capture 100% of the detail here, that is not the purpose of it. So don't stress. Be like, oh, there's something else we want to add. You can always, when we go through the action plan, if there's something that comes to mind during that, I'll add a line in the action plan right there and then for you as well. So this is not the end of discovery. It's just accelerating the discovery as much as possible. We will meet on, I'm going to cancel our meeting tomorrow. We're going to meet in depth on Monday for an hour and a half to go over the action plan in detail. We'll be prepared for you then. And from there, once you guys approve the action plan, we will start development.
Perfect.
Awesome.
Excellent. Great to have you guys on. If you have any questions for us, please let us know. We will start preparing the action plan, and we'll see you guys on Monday.
Thank you so much, Drew.
Just a quick note, as I go through this today, if there are any questions that you may have regarding the plan or Zoho in general, feel free to ask. We just want to make sure that you guys are comfortable and confident with the direction we're suggesting here for developing your Zoho instance. So with that, here is the action plan. And we're going to start from the top here with the high-level plan. And then we're going to get into the nitty-gritty details. So first and foremost, let's just go over this at a high level. So we went through the discovery and documentation phase. That's the 3-week engagement that you guys purchased with us. And we're at the action plan readout. So you signed the proposal, you booked your kickoff, we had our discovery meetings, and then we have created the action plan, and we're reading it out today. The next major stage here would be development, which is taking the action plan and making it a reality within your system. So that's discovery and documentation. Just a note here on development, like where do we go from here after this plan? If you guys choose to move forward, we have development, that's configure, customize code. We go, when we do development, we call our methodology rolling wave. Rolling wave just means we start with a full plan. Full plan, as you can see here, all these details. And we move through it from top to bottom. And then we add more detail and adjust priorities along the way. So essentially that means you have veto power. If we go through the action plan and there's things that you're like, hey, Drew, that looks great. Let's just focus on it later. You can deprioritize things as we go. It's just like building a house. We want to give you the whole blueprint first so you can get an idea of what it will look like end to end. And if you want to focus on certain rooms first, we can add other ones later. Extras like porch, garage, we can do things like that later. So not to get too technical, but it's a mix of what's popular for these kinds of projects called waterfall. And it's kind of a mix between waterfall, project management, and sprint. So end to end, we want to give you the full plan first, and then we're flexible as we move through it. Next, after we work develop, we're going to go through the development plan in more detail. But at a high level, for development, we'll review the system together, migrate your data, do user acceptance testing, and then schedule to go live. Migration's kind of a question mark. We can migrate data that you have from your current system if you want, or we can start with net new data. Either way works. We'll discuss that in more detail. So with that, I did add an image here just showing what an ideal month of implementing Zoho would look like. So if you guys want to check that out, you can. Most of the time we don't implement Zoho in a month. I know you guys are wanting to get live in a couple weeks from now, or go live in a couple weeks from now. But this is like some of the necessary steps for an implementation of Zoho for reference. With that, detailed development plan. So let's start with lead generation. how this is going to work is this is a section header, and then we're going to almost read it out as if it was a story. Might sound kind of silly, but if we go through the system as if we were a customer, it starts to make more sense why things are valuable and why things are going to be set up the way it is. So with that, marketing team, you guys are going to generate leads through multiple channels, including SEO, Google Ads, Meta Ads, software review platforms, partner referrals, etc. We'll talk about the referral tracking system later on. You guys will maintain your advertising budget. This one isn't critical. This is more context. You guys are going to maintain your ad spend. We're going to integrate Google Ads with Zoho CRM. So there's an integration between Google Ads and Zoho CRM. The reason it's useful is it brings over additional information from Google Ads. For example, with the UTM parameters, people typically add, we don't get keyword and we don't get the specific ad that was used. With the Google Ads integration, we will get that information. Why is that useful? Well, for example, if we can see the keywords that are producing revenue and the ones that aren't, you can stop spending on keywords that are not valuable to you and double
100%.
on that are working. So
Super excited for that.
yep, very, very useful. So we're going to set up the Google Ads integration. Next, we're going to create this executive dashboard. A lot of these components are actually completed via zBlitz. You guys purchased our zBlitz package. We're going to make sure to send a video to you going over zBlitz after this. So that has been completed. It looks like this. It's very similar. It has the attribution report as a funnel, and then a journey report along with month-to-month metrics. So that's added to your system as a journey map, completed via zBlitz. Also, as we completed zBlitz items, you guys should have been sent videos of what was completed, so you can check that out too. Next thing here is implement attributor.io. Attributor.io is essentially a snippet of code we put on your site, and it automatically tracks UTMs. This is very useful because oftentimes when people do UTM tracking, they lose the tracking details when someone jumps to a different page. We don't want to have that happen for you guys. We want the UTM parameters to go to be tracked across pages. And there's certain things that traditional UTM tracking can't do. For example, if someone finds you organically, there's no UTM parameters for that. But with attributor.io, it recognizes organic traffic. So things like that are really valuable with Attributor. And then next thing here, Zoho will automatically capture first touch attribution data when leads are created. So when people jump on the site, first touch attribution will be enabled through Attributor, and that information will pass over to Zoho. Let's get into lead conversion and form submission. So prospects will fill out the get the demo form on a website with name, email, company, phone number. Zoho will automatically create a lead record when form is submitted with the lead status sales ready. So this is the initial form, if you guys remember, not the second form through Calendly, the first form. Zoho will immediately send an automated thank you email to prospect from the form submission. Zoho will send automated text messages to prospect upon form submission. Just a note here, since message media extension will be used here, client will need to purchase message media and send us their use credentials so we can set up the extension. So if you guys can purchase that and send it over to us when we get to this item, that'd be very useful. We can hook up the extension for you. Another note here, your current system has a two-step process. Initially, the initial form and then Calendly. There's some drop-off issues. I recommended testing a single Calendly form to improve, but you mentioned that unfortunately it's a must-have for some other stakeholders, which is completely fine. It's just something to consider, if possible, maybe consolidating, but I totally get the reason for having both too. So just a quick side note from the journey here, just to give you an idea of high-level stages as we go through this. It's kind of tricky to know when to actually show you these stages, so we put it towards the front of this action plan. So one action item for us is to create end-to-end stages in Zoho CRM. If you don't know what that is, inside of Zoho, there's Kanban views. If you want me to show you an example, I certainly can. But essentially, we want to make sure that these stages exist in your system. So from the leads, marketing ready, sales ready, reached, demo scheduled, recycled, rejected. That's everything before the demo. After the demo, you have demo complete, agreement sent, closed won, kickoff scheduled, closed won, or closed lost. There's some information here too, if you want to read through that. We would also take this, by the way, add it as a document to your Zoho system so that everyone has an idea of these stages and what they mean. Account stages: prospect, customer, partner, and then lost. We'll create an end-to-end video, by the way, going through the whole user journey once we create your system. And then we will also include this, again, as a web tab in your system. So everyone will have access to these stages and you can change them if you wish. Okay, so lead qualification and assignment. Sales coordinator will review incoming leads for qualification within 5 to 10 minutes. Sales coordinator will verify lead legitimacy by checking business details, contact information. We'll attempt an initial phone call. I know, or whoever the sales coordinator is in this situation doesn't always get to that phone call, but the more qualification here seems to be the better. Sales coordinator will send initial email outreach if phone contact is unsuccessful. Can automate a lot of this. Mentioned here, Zoho will automatically assign qualified leads to sales representatives using round robin distribution. The current manual process causes delays and inconsistency. The goal is to automate as much as possible here while maintaining lead quality. Keep in mind that when people use Calendly, we can just have that same lead that was already assigned through the other form instead of creating new leads too. So that's an important note. Lead nurturing cadence. Sales representatives will follow a standardized cadence of 3 contacts on the first day and 3 contacts on the second day. It was mentioned, I believe, on the last call. Sales reps will make at least 1 phone call attempt per lead. We will create a cadence that will automate as much of the follow-up sequence as possible. We'll also notify the sales rep when they are needed to do parts of the cadence that can't be automated. What am I trying to see here? Well, basically, whatever the steps are that a sales rep takes when a lead is sales ready, we will do our best to automate those things such as texts, emails, and then just leave the calls up to the reps. That also can be automated through AI. I just think that would be more of a phase 2 thing as well. So we can create that whole cadence inside of Zoho for you. Sales reps will continue outreach efforts for 45 days before marking the lead as recycled. You can change that if you want it to be 12 days, whatever you'd like. We can change the cadence to support it. Ian, if you would provide the SOP, I think we talked about this on the last call,
Right.
to inform automation design, that would be great. Conversion rate currently, I think, is 45% from marketing ready to sales ready leads. So 300 leads, 120 demos, 65 sales, something like that. So if you could send that over to us, that would be great.
You got it.
Excellent. So demo booking and scheduling. Okay, we went through the lead nurturing sequence. The goal is to get that demo scheduled. So prospects will book demo appointments through Calendly. The round robin with Calendly form is on the website. Calendly will automatically sync demo appointments to sales representative calendars. Brockman Consulting will train a team to connect their emails and calendars with Zoho CRM. Zoho will convert a lead to a contact account and deal record when a demo is successfully booked. So once Calendly has a book demo, we'll find an existing lead if it does exist, and it will convert it. If not, a contact account and deal will be created from scratch. Sales representatives will conduct a pre-discovery call to understand prospect needs and confirm demo requirements. And then here's just a quick note. Current system has a disconnect between initial form assignment and Calendly booking, causing confusion about lead ownership. So we can address this, but essentially the Calendly round robin does not match the lead assignment from the initial form fill. So I just figured we would just do, once the Calendly demo is booked, we would just take the existing lead if there is one. If not, we would create these contacts from scratch, and then we can assign them to somebody. Assign using round robin. We can go more into this because the crux of the issue is Calendly's round robin doesn't match Zoho's, but we can address that, and I'll just add a sub note here. If we can match with Calendly's, and actually I would do it the other way around. If we can match Calendly's lead assignment with Zoho's, that would be ideal. Yeah, basically what I'm trying to say here is if I'm a rep and I'm working a lead and they book and then they get assigned to someone else for a demo, I'd be kind of upset. So we would just want to make sure the Calendly lead assignment
is in line with Zoho's lead assignment. So we can look into that. Demo execution. So on the demo, sales reps are going to do a 30 to 60-minute product demonstration via Zoom. Sales reps will record demo sessions for future reference. Sales reps will attempt to close the deal after the initial demo call. Brockman Consulting will integrate Zoom AI transcription to automatically capture demo notes in Zoho CRM. Then Zoho will store all demo recordings and transcripts to contact records. I can also add this if it's in deal records as well, but I figured we just start there with the contact. Zoom replaced GoToMeeting. Just a note here, you guys replaced GoToMeeting with Zoom. Agreement and contract process. So sales reps will send a 4-page agreement to qualified prospects after successful demos. Brockman Consulting will integrate Zoho Sign for automated contract generation, e-signature. Zoho will merge contact and deal info to contract templates automatically. So when you go to create that e-signature, it's going to pull information right from the CRM into the document. Zoho Sign will send automated reminder emails to prospects who haven't signed contracts. And then Zoho will trigger automated follow-up sequences for unsigned contracts. You mentioned when I sent you our proposal, you got those notifications. We can set up a cadence like that for Zoho as well, Zoho Sign. Current manual DocuSign process causes significant drop-off, 20 deals per month ghost after receiving contracts. Try to improve that with follow-ups. Deal closure and handoff. Zoho, and then I'll pause right here. I know that's a lot from me, guys. As I'm going through this. Do you guys have any questions? Is this clear? Is it making sense, or is there any confusion you guys want to clear up?
So far, so good on my end.
Excellent. All right.
Yeah, it's all good.
Okay. Hopefully it kind of makes sense step by step through the process. We want to make it feel like we're going through that ideal path together of what this will look like. So any questions? I know we're not actually seeing a system, so you feel free to pause me if you guys have anything come up. Next section here, deal closure and handoff. Zoho will automatically mark deals as closed won when contracts are fully executed. So that will be marked in the system automatically. Zoho will trigger automated congratulations email to new customers upon contract completion. Sales reps will book kickoff calls with customer success manager for new customers. Zoho will create automated handoff emails from the sales rep to the assigned CSM. That'd be the customer success manager. They will then the CSM will collect payment and begin onboarding process. Note, just a quick note here, all post-sale activities currently handled in no-go system, that would require an export from Zoho. So what I'm trying to say here is if we want to bring anything from the no-go system over to Zoho, we can do that. Also, we will push information from Zoho to no-go. And we'll talk about it in just a moment. Data export to legacy system. So Zoho Flow will automatically export closed won customer data to no-go system via API integration. Then a note here, you will have to get Zoho separately. So client will have to purchase Zoho Flow separately because I believe you guys will be staying on the Zoho CRM Plus plan, which is fine. Zoho Flow just is not included there. So just keep that in mind. The export will include contact information, business details, and all interaction notes. So we can push as much information over to your CEO, because I think you said needs to set up the API for that.
That's correct.
Yep. So we'll set up the API endpoint to receive the data from Zoho. We'll push it over to him. And we can configure webhook triggers to send data when deals are marked close won. So we can work on that. Some additional requirements. I add this section. So if we can't neatly fit automations or things Zoho will do within the customer journey, I put them in this section. So just some things also some additional things we can work on. We can integrate the existing Zoho campaigns with Zoho CRM for seamless lead nurturing. The marketing team will sync all email marketing campaigns with CRM for complete lead tracking. If we sync this, then the campaigns come over to CRM automatically, by the way. So you won't have to do any of that manually. We can implement AI assistance for automated lead qualification and responses. So these are things we can do. If I'm not super confident that it's something we want phase one, I'll say can instead of will. So we can implement AI assistance that can do
sort your inbox, automatically create draft replies, do lead qualifications, and so much more. But that's something I want you guys to know is possible, but you don't have to do it as a phase one. I don't recommend it as a phase one thing. I also put here the marketing team. You guys are, you can maintain your social media scheduling through Zoho Social. You guys migrated over from Hootsuite, so that's something there. Referral partner management, this is really critical. So we'll create a referral partner tracking system inside of Zoho using the accounts module with custom referrer field. Essentially, every single referrer will get a unique link for the form that pre-fills a hidden field with their ID. That way, when someone fills it out, you can automatically attribute it to that particular referrer. Zoho Flow will automatically create partner-specific referrer links with new referral accounts when new referrer accounts are created. Referral partners will receive $300 per successfully closed deal. Talk about supporting that. Then we can enable the partner portal so that every time there's a referrer and it's associated to a partner, they're able to sign in and see everyone they've referred over that's closed. Brand ambassadors will be tracked separately for cost accounting purposes, or we can track them the same way. It's completely up to you guys. Brand ambassadors might be a little different, but we can still use the same structure for the forms. Communication integrations. We can integrate existing email systems, Outlook. And then let me read through your question now. Can our website chat come through Zoho? Right now we stay logged into Zendesk and monitor it. Yes, you can. You will need to use, to answer your question, you said, can our website chat come through through Zoho? The answer is yes, through Zoho Sales IQ. And I don't know if I have captured that here. So I can just throw up at the top here in this section for lead generation. I'll put here Brockbank Consulting, side, Zoho Q, team, that way chats come through Zoho Sales IQ. And I believe Zoho CRM Plus has Zoho Sales IQ. If not, we can, yeah, you guys have it. Got it. It's pretty confident, but I'm like, they may have switched those apps. They've switched up a couple times through Zoho Sales IQ, and we can set that up on your site with you.
Perfect. Thank you.
Yeah, not a problem at all. Great question. Okay. Next thing here for communication. So we can integrate existing emails, Outlook with Zoho CRM using IMAP, and we can send you training here. It's something we can train you to do, and then each of you individually can set that up. We can also implement message media for SMS within Zoho CRM. We talked a little bit about it earlier, but essentially gives you an iMessage-like user interface within each contact record. It's really sleek. They've done a great job with it. It's the best way to do SMS in Zoho. All text messages, emails, and call logs will automatically sync over to contact records. The GoToConnect phone system will remain, but will integrate with Zoho for call logging. Because that is your current phone system, correct? Is GoToConnect? Yeah. Perfect. We can do that. Some reporting and analytics stuff. I marked here, we can create comprehensive lead source tracking with cost per acquisition reporting. That's something we can lead into. The key thing here is we'd also need to hook up your accounting system, but it is something we can certainly report on. If you guys want some more advanced, like cost per acquisition to LTV is a popular marketing metric, things like that, we can create it. Marketing will, your marketing team will track detailed campaign performance, including Google Ads, keyword level attribution, will all come over for you. And then you can, as a sales team, you'll be able to monitor team performance with conversion rate tracking and pipeline analytics within Zoho Analytics. So we created baseline reports for you. And if you want to zoom into those or create different ones, we can certainly do that with you.
Okay.
All right. So we've created that executive dashboard for you at a high level. It's already been generated, migration and timeline. So we can migrate data from no-go CRM to Zoho, including like leads, deals, contacts, and accounts, or we can start fresh. It's up to you guys. I just wanted to put here, we're happy to assist you with that. Or do you want to speak to that?
Yeah,
Yeah.
we definitely want to. Oh, go ahead. Sorry.
No, it's all you. The answer is the same. So
Yeah, we want to migrate over just because we don't want our team to have to work into two systems.
Yeah.
We want them to be able to be completely over on one. And then I wanted to add too, this could be potentially phase 2, but it could be a part of the whole referral process anyways that you guys are building.
Yeah.
We not only have the partner referrals, and then as you also noted, we have the brand ambassador, which are just our clients that are referring. They've just made different agreements with us. But then we also just have general customer referrals. And I'm hoping that you can help us just build a good in general referral tracking. So we have one specific to partners, one specific to brand ambassadors, but then also a way to really track all of our customer referrals, because we really push that $300 reward for all of our current customers that are not a partner or anything like that. And we don't have a good way of tracking that right now, and it's been really awful.
Yes, great question. The framework that we'll use in the referral section with the forms and the pre-filled ID, that can work for everybody.
Oh, perfect. Okay.
Yeah. So the reason I put a note there is you can use, it's an app called Zoho Thrive.
Mhm.
And Zoho Thrive is more for like the social media kind of refers, where it's like an influencer or has like a
Yeah. Okay. Yeah.
but I think for Zoho Thrive might be overkill. So I just wanted to dive a little deeper into that. Based on what you've said so far, having unique forms generated for or the same form with a unique code for each of those, that's going to work just fine for you guys. So, and it's more from a B2C standpoint using Thrive. This is more of a B2B solution. So I think it'll work better for you guys.
Okay.
Now, yes, the important thing, it should work for all situations, customers and the refers. All right, AI here. We can discuss potential AI capabilities for AI agents, AI automations. After we get the minimum viable system, we just want to stay as focused as we can on one road to revenue. And then we're happy to go in any split direction. We just want that initial system built. It's so difficult to stay focused. So we just want to mention to you what's important for that first version.
Agreed.
Also, if you guys want to chat with the notes that we took, you can ask any questions about the discussions we had in the note-taking tool that we use. You can get over here, and then you can go to this section on the right-hand side, and you can chat with everything that was mentioned. So if you have questions like, hey, did we talk about this? Or like, what did Drew say was the best practice here? You can always go to this notes thing and kind of understand contextually why we created the plan the way that we did. So it's just kind of a nice thing. Let's talk about estimated timeline in hours.